Hi, I'm Lakin McDonald.
And I'm Savannah Smith.
And this is your RCHS News for Monday, October 16th.
Here's what's coming up in this episode of RCHS News.
I'm Angeletta and I'll be bringing you the story on Spirit Week Recap.
I'm Lakin McDonald and I'll be bringing you a story on the cross-country team.
I'm Sam Summers and I'll be bringing you a story on the Take a Knee movement.
I'm Ava Maria and I'm bringing you a story about what makes your skin crawl.
I'm Stephen Arnett and I'll be opening up a store in the library.
Hi, I'm James and I'll be giving you a story about before they were teachers.
I'm Brandon DeMoss and I'll be bringing you a story on the drone.
First, let's check out our calendar update.
Monday, October 16th, midterm for the second 6 weeks.
The volleyball team will be hosting Tyler Consolidated on October 17th.
Wednesday, October 18th, PSAT test for the 9th grade.
October 19th, the cross-country team has regionals.
Friday, October 20th, reality store for the seniors.
Friday, October 20th, home football game against Wirt County. The volleyball LKC championship will be October 21st.
Monday, October 23rd, college fair, 9 a.m.
Friday, October 27th, away football game in Berkeley Springs.
Now let's send it to Angel Utter for a Spirit Week recap.
Here's the Spirit Week recap.
So in fourth place were the freshmen with 2,450 points, which was 824 points behind the sophomores with 3,274. And then the sophomores were 466 points behind the juniors with 3,740. And then the juniors were 410 points behind the seniors and they had 4,150.
Here are a few words from the overall winners. Lauren Strickland.
Lauren, how did it feel to win overall dress-up day for Spirit Week?
It felt really good being able to contribute my part to the seniors. I felt that I was able to give points to them and help us win overall. Well, whenever I found out the days, I was kind of bummed out. I was like, how am I going to win these days? And then I just kind of had to add extra stuff to my costume to be ordinary, I guess.
Here are a few words from Chase Sullivan.
Chase, how did winter feel overall for Spirit Week?
I had a deep, warm, fuzzy feeling in the bottom of my heart, and I was doubtful at first because I didn't win a single day, but I persevered and got the W.
Alright, Chase, how did you prepare?
Well, I looked like an idiot. If you don't look like an idiot, you're not doing it right. And if you look like an idiot, you gotta act like an idiot. So to win, you have to be an idiot.
Here are a few words from Miss Bailey.
So I was really excited to win overall for Dress Up for Spirit Week. I got to help my sophomore class, which was good, and it kind of gave me a reason to dress like a crazy person all week. So it kind of gave some evidence of that I dressed crazy all week. And I prepared by going on Pinterest. I try to use Pinterest as much as I can, so that's where I got my ideas for like my Mary Poppins costume and some of my stuff for class color day. And then I've always wanted an excuse to buy an adult onesie, so that's what my motivation was for the pajama day.
Now, here is Miss Schimmel and her thoughts on how Spirit Week went.
Is there anything that you would like to change for next year?
I think we're going to take a look at some of the scoring and especially powder puff football and cheerleading and volleyball, and maybe the loser team will get fewer points than 300.
How do you think this year turned out rather than last year?
I think it was a little bit smoother this year. I think there was a little less complaining and griping about scoring and different things.
And now the winners of 2017 Spirit Week is
4,150 points.
I'm Angel Utter, reporting for RCHS News.
Thanks, Angel. Now let's throw it to Sam Summers to see where RCHS stands on the Take a Knee movement.
The Take a Knee movement has swept across the TV screens of Americans and into their homes, causing a lot of backlash from both sides. We took a look to see what RCHS had to say about the movement. English teacher Mr. Durr explains what the movement represents.
Well, I really think that people are overblowing what the NFL players are doing. They're simply protesting because of police brutality on the black community. And they're not being unpatriotic, they're just trying to take a stand for something they believe in.
Durr thinks that we should take a step back and view it through the eyes of the protesters.
And if people could take a step back, take a deep breath, and try to put themselves in their shoes, then maybe they'd understand what's going on.
Student Stephen Arnett thinks that it is the protesters' right to do what they're doing, but he doesn't think it's correct.
Standing for the pledge to me is more of a sign of respect for everybody who's died for the flag and died to sort of protect that right, to sort of kneel for the pledge, but I just don't do it. But in my eyes, at least they're not burning the flag or stepping on it.
History teacher Rchs says that he would not personally protest, but it is the protesters' right to do so.
Personally, I wouldn't take a knee, but everyone has the right in this country to do things like that.
He goes on to say that there are bigger issues concerning this country.
We've got health care issues, and we got tax reform issues, and all the things that we send people there to do. We're not worrying about that. We're worrying about a few NFL prima donnas are kneeling.
While most people at RCHS don't agree with the movement, they recognize that it is still the protesters' First Amendment right to take a stand, or in their case, a knee, for what they believe in. Sam Summers signing off.
Hey, Lakin, you know what makes my skin crawl?
What?
Your accent.
Let's go to Ava Maria to see what makes the rest of RCHS uncomfortable.
With Halloween around the corner, we decided to see what makes people's skin crawl at Ritchie County High School. We chased down Mr. McCullough to see what makes him cringe.
Watching a basketball player miss a layup, a wide open layup.
We then traveled 7 realms to find Kaylin Ireland to see what makes her skin crawl.
Needles. I can't stand needles. I just don't like the feeling of them when they give it to me. And
we gave Atticus a squeaky surprise to see how he reacted.
I hate that noise. Stop!
This is Ava Maria for Ritchie County High School News, signing off.
Now let's go to James for a report on teachers before they came here.
RCHS was curious to know about teachers before they began their careers at RCHS. Here is a story telling about teachers' past lives and why they chose the careers they did. We first took a seat with Mr. Lawrence, who tells us about his football career and his past jobs.
College at Butler Community College for 2 years, played football there, won national championship, and then I was recruited out to play at Glenville. Played there for 2 years, was All-American linebacker in the 2010 draft. Got my first job, assistant coaching job here at Ritchie County High School in 2010. Was here for a couple years, moved to Ohio, was a football coach, head football, head wrestling, athletic director in Shenandoah in Ohio. Spent there about 2.5, 3 years. I went down to Weston, was assistant principal at the middle school in Lewis County, Robert L. Bland Middle School. Was there, and then I moved back here to be the head coach, assistant principal, and athletic director. Been here now for 3 years.
Next, we ran into Mr. Nutter, who talks to us about what he went to college for.
At West Virginia Wesleyan, I ran track, cross country, and indoor track as well, and got a bachelor's degree in business management and also got a master's in business administration.
Then Mr. Nutter gives us an insight on how he used to work at Alkin Aluminum and why he became a teacher.
Sales for Alcan, we sold aluminum, rolled products, and also some coil type things as long as plate. Worked there for 4 years, traveled all over the country. It was really cool, but I really wanted to coach. Moved here to Ritchie County last year as a high school special education teacher, and I'm now teaching middle school special education here at Ritchie County Middle School and coaching cross country and freshman boys basketball at St. Mary's High School.
Last but not least, Mr. Durr tells us about his old boring office job.
Before I became a teacher, I worked for AT&T in a call center in one of those cubicles for 8 hours a day. It was torturous. And I also worked for the Columbus Dispatch as an ad sales rep.
Later, Mr. Durr explains why he decided to become a teacher.
I became a teacher because I took one of those psychology tests that asks you all kinds of questions, and it said I should either be a teacher or a librarian. So I met my match with that test, and actually I had my teaching degree well before I took that test.
This is your RCHS News reporter, Mackenzie McComas, signing off.
Now we run over to Lake McDonald for a report on the recent home cross-country meet.
Cross-country season has been well underway here at Ritchie County High School. On Saturday, September 30th, RCHS hosted the Ritchie Invitational at North Bend State Park. We interviewed runner Chloe Britton to hear her thoughts on the Invitational.
Feels like a really quick course compared to a lot of other courses.
She also expresses how her team did.
Actually, we had all of our runners in the top 30.
We heard from runner Jared Allender after his race.
I think they did pretty good. Me and Clayton were in the top 10.
We interviewed Coach Holly Vaughn about her thoughts on the Invitational.
Hosting a home cross-country invitational is so important because it brings community members out to actually see our athletes race and run. Sometimes throughout the season it's difficult to travel to all of the meets around the state of West Virginia, so we're really proud of our team and we're proud of our home course, and so we are just excited to host a cross-country invitational here at the state park.
We got to hear from Charlie Carpenter of West Virginia Insurance on why he sponsors the Ritchie Invitational.
At West Virginia Insurance, there are several employees there, and their children all just about participated in cross country. So back, I don't know, maybe 15, 18 years ago, we started sponsoring the Invitational, and all of our kids are going now, but we just continue. We think it's certainly worthwhile and good for the kids of Ritchie County, so we've just continued doing it.
We got to hear from faithful cross-country fan Ellen Schrader on why she supports Ritchie County cross-country so much.
Because I love to come out here and run and cheer on Ritchie County Rebels and my granddaughter Chloe, who is so awesome.
As you can see, the Ritchie Invitational is a unique and special event for the community, and sponsors, runners, and fans agree. This has been Lake and McDonald reporting for RCHS News.
Have you seen the disarray in the library lately? We here at RCHS News wanted to find out exactly what's going on. We interviewed Principal Miss Wagner, and she explained how the high school uses the library and what she wants it to be like.
I wish that we had a little bit more technology where students could research online in here, but also that we had all the equipment that we needed. We had all the books, we had the updated magazines, we have all of that stuff in here. I wish that's how it was.
Miss Wagner thinks that students don't use the library as much as they should because they need supervised.
They have to be, there has to be somebody in here monitoring it, and at this point we do not have a librarian, so unless the teachers bring them in so that they can check out a book during that class period, that's the only time that it's open for them. I always think your library is worth keeping. Books, reading, all of that is important. I would like to see it more organized. Right now the library for the high school side is used mainly for Freshman Academy.
Miss Compton, a middle school teacher, said she uses the library for the lab.
There are times that we are down there using that, just using the laptops, completing their online lessons and going through the lectures. Also from time to time do a little research in the library as well.
We interviewed Miss Wyndham, and she told us what a group of students is doing to improve the library.
The students go in pretty much every Mondays and Wednesdays to work on organizing the books. Right now we're taking books off the shelves and dusting. We're trying to put them back into a Dewey Decimal System that will allow the students coming in to be able to find the books that they need, and we'll be able to find them easier ourselves.
Miss Wyndham has a vision of how the library should be in the future.
I think that we could shrink the library down, and I think that's eventually what will happen. I think most things will go digitally, but we might as well utilize what we have now rather than just letting it go to waste.
Even with the efforts to restore it to its former glory, the future of the library is yet to be determined. This is Stephen Arnett from RCHS News, signing off.
Finally, we'll fly it to Brendan DeMoss for a story on the infamous drone.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's McPeak's drone. But who really owns this drone? I will answer this question in the next story. The DJI Phantom 4 drone is an unmanned aerial vehicle or a remote-controlled aircraft. The DJI can fly up to 3.1 miles or approximately 5 kilometers in distance-wise. The boundaries limit the drone at 400 to 500 feet up in the air due to its regulations. Although, according to the DJI website, the drone is capable of much more, approximately 19,000 feet or 3.5 kilometers up. Ritchie County High School teacher Mr. McPeak explains why we have the drone at RCHS.
So the truth about the drone, it's not really my drone. People call it McPeak's drone, but it really belongs to Ritchie County High School. And the reason that we have it is because when I got some grant money a couple of years ago, Mrs. Wagner approached me and said, hey, why don't you spend a little of that on a drone? I know she knew of some other schools that had one, and she thought it would be great for kids to be able to have the opportunity to use a tool like that.
Thank you, Mr. McPeak, for clearing that up. The drone can be used as a toy or a multi-purpose tool thanks to its 4K digital camera. The drone is capable of flying up to 45 kilometers per hour. The drone can be considered almost idiot-proof because of all the safety features and its sensors. As you can see, the drone can be a very nice tool and a fun toy for everybody to play with. This is Brandon DeMoss signing off.
And that's it for this episode of RCHS News.
I'm Lakin McDonald.
And I'm Savannah Smith. See you next time.